welcome officially to the CI/CD UX team meeting. We have a full agenda for today, and um, I want to invite you to take a moment to look at the FYI read-only items. We have showcase coming up, UI CX/CD UX Day Growth Day coming up, Friends and Family Days, and Pair Designers were assigned again, so we're switching. Um, and I see that Ian left a comment here um, on the CICD UX Growth Day. If you want to have a comment, please feel free to dive into that. So I'm going to start with the new UX OKRs. I think you all saw it, but I just wanted to give a heads up again that I created a tracking issue for all of us. The focus will be, as you know, on accessibility training, career development, and then we also have a UI polish epic. All need to identify at least 3 items for your stage group. Ian asks here, if you have no UI polish or no usability issues, what do you do? I would say good for you if you don't have any problems with that. Ian, I'm going to add this to the agenda, but if you're watching this recording later on, I think if you don't have any UI polish, then you don't have to create problems, right, for yourself or for your stage group. Just make sure you're communicating why you're not participating on this OKR, and yeah, what else can you do, for example, to look into the system usability score or usability in general in this quarter. And we also have still an open KR on dog food or portfolio management. Maybe we're going to have to do the same as we did for the iterations featureless quarter. So keep in mind some extra stuff. Questions before I jump to the second?
No? I think we are more sorted in terms of what to expect while dog fooding now. So thanks for that.
Yeah, there's no description so far, I think. Yeah, no description at all. It might be, I don't want to say anything, but it might be that we drop it. Do you know, Laurie, if anything, what's going to happen about this KR, the portfolio management? If you heard anything? No,
Nope.
Yeah, so keep an eye on it. I'll keep you all posted. And then for the verified people, that's all of us, since Ian and Daniel are not here yet. We're going to have a team day on the February 22nd. So I think you received an invite. Please make sure you're rescheduling your calls, saying no to other things, because leadership is going to announce the verified positioning and the strategy for this fiscal year. And we also have an AMA and a workshop plan for that day. So please make sure that you can participate. It's going to be very interesting for us to all be together and get exposed to the same knowledge and same information around our strategy.
How do I get an invite to that? Because I guess I can look at the issue, but I'm not invited.
I'll invite you. I think
Okay.
Darby sent out the invites, but
Okay, no worries. Thank you.
and I'm awesome. Julio. Me again, my goodness. I already know that Jenkins is important. Thank you so much, Vitica, for creating the transition issue. That's awesome. The super quick response there. Nadia, do you have the chance to look into the discussion or have any questions so far?
I haven't. I've been working on designs all day. I got really in the weeds, and I have an overflowing inbox, but I'll check it today.
So let us know if we can help with anything.
So thanks for the issue, Vitica. I already have some support here.
By the way, there isn't a lot that was happening or was parked or was in progress for that particular category. So it would be easier for you to learn about the past activities.
Mm-hmm. Cool, thanks. Yeah, but I'm excited about this move because I think it makes so much sense for pipeline authoring to focus on it. And we're concerned with onboarding flows. We collaborate with the growth team. So it'll be really good to work on this. I think it's a highly requested feature.
Next up, it's you, Vitica.
Okay, perfect. So I think, I don't know in which forum I kind of discussed about having an issue. I think I pinged Laurie in the UX research channel that we want to have like a generic link to recruit users like instantaneously. So we are not going exactly the same path, but what we have thought of doing now is, so since Tao speaks with a lot many customers as a part of her role, and most of those conversations, they are there on Chorus. So what we're trying to do, or on some other platform, what we are now trying to do is we have one dovetail project for general research around CI, and we'd be kind of exporting all those data from all different places to one place, so that I mean, in case mostly they always have some valuable insight connected to them. And yeah, so we'll have just one place to go to whenever we are in doubt, or whenever we are looking for some sort of quick validation for small little decisions.
That's a great idea. After you guys do it for a little while, like, I don't know, like a month or something, and if it goes well, I think you should put it in the UX channel, write a blog post about it. Like, let's get that idea out there, and then even update the handbook with a, hey, here's a helpful hint. You can do this too.
Perfect. And I haven't written here, but just an update that 2 of the interviews out of 17 or 18 interviews are through. And the kind of information that's coming through, it's like great. I mean, I could have never imagined those use cases, those scenarios, those possibilities. And I think, Nadia, I would also have something for you, like to share with you at the end of this, because I mean, users are kind of suggesting sort of like integrating workflows in a way that we hadn't thought before. So that's very interesting.
That's awesome. I can't wait to see. And also wanted to ask, unrelated note, do you know if it's like a GitLab wide thing? Do we have a Chorus AI account that PMs use for their calls, or yeah?
Yeah, so they do use, and Tao had suggested that I get a listener access, which I did through by placing an access request, and Hannah approved it for me.
Cool. Thanks.
So you can just go there and copy the same request and create one.
Mm-hmm.
I think with the Chorus UI, AI, not UI, we all need to get access to it, right? We need to access to request access. Okay.
Right, and I also did request access for Hannah. You would be knowing for Zendesk and Salesforce as well, because I see that those conversations that TAMs have with the customers, they are all important. And I mean, it's really important to have a look at those as they're like happening there, other than somebody giving you a summary of that on some other platform. So it's always a good idea to do that.
Yeah, I have Chorus access, and I have Salesforce Read, I think, access. But I don't think I have Zendesk access yet, but it's pretty easy. Just put an access request in and they should be able to get you what you need.
Vitica, can you share with us the link to the my goodness. No. The Dovetail project to make the generic references. If you have that, it will be cool to let the others come to the agenda and see. Thank you.
So Tao was supposed to put the first conversation there yesterday. I'm not sure if that has happened, but she would do that soon. So, why is it in caps? Oh, my caps lock is on.
I was waiting for this. Thanks. Actually, I would also be interested in the access request if you have that handy.
Sure. I mean, I can provide that after the call, because I'll have to look through. If you go to the access request, I mean.
Oh, it's there. One of the templates?
Yeah, just put my name and you'll see the new ones.
Cool. I'll do that. Thanks.
I added here the access request project, Nadia. So it's a template, and then you can just select the tools you need access to.
Thanks.
Hey,
and Nadia, they should use, hey Daniel, they should use Chorus. I don't know how much they are. So I think Jackie might split between Chorus and Zoom and then put things in Dovetail. So it just depends on, I think, the customer they're talking to too, versus their like whatever they're used to as well. So just find something and use it consistently. That would be great if everybody could just be consistent in what they use, but I don't think they are. So I
But
don't know if they have a best practice.
Does Chorus AI have some additional capabilities, like for sorting the data somehow? No, it's just kind of like storage.
No, it's like before we had Zoom, they were using
Okay.
Chorus, and now we have Dovetail, but they're using Chorus. So I don't think there may be some functionality that they can export something, but it's nothing that anything else doesn't do. So yeah.
Okay, then maybe actually I don't need it then, because I thought maybe it does
I would get
something
it.
extra.
I would get it because you cannot access any recordings without that access. So even if
Okay.
somebody else had a recording in there you wanted to watch, you cannot watch it. Yeah.
Got it.
Laurie, just so maybe you know this, is there any other than what you already discussed, is there a reason why we use the chorus in terms of not privacy, but the information that we shouldn't be adding or updating on our Dovetail or on, on the open channels?
Dovetail's not that open. It's only open to people in the company. So even though people have viewing access, it's people with GitLab addresses. So those are like your salespeople. So they don't need to go write anything. They just want to watch a video or something. Chorus is the same way. I think really it's like the sales organization and PMs thought, hey, we need a tool. They got Chorus, they use Chorus. Then we needed a tool, we got Dovetail, we used Dovetail. I think that's really where it came from. So there is a ton of information in Chorus. If you can get access to it, you could spend weeks just milling around and watching customer videos. It's crazy.
I think maybe we should open a bulk access request then, because we're all going to need at some point to see that. So Nadia, since you're opening for yourself, can you add my name to the access request too? And then if other people want,
sure.
Yeah, I can just, thank you.
Yeah, I'll do that. I can add Daniel. I'm assuming he doesn't have Chorus, if I'm not mistaken, but I'll tag you.
Thank you so much. Next up, it's Vitica again, I think.
Yeah, so this was supposed to be just a read only, but in case if anyone has questions or like they're wondering what's happening with merge trains next. So now there's a very well organized epic which is in place, and it has the latest updated description. It kind of like talks about all the major issues which are in works, and there's also 5 minutes video for like if you're looking for an even quicker overview.
That's awesome. Thank you for sharing. And also clear, and simplifying merge trains, just making sure that the next steps are defined. Thank you for sharing, Vitica. I have another item, actually, I just wanted to share. So tracking usability issues for the system usability for OKR. And I just wanted to share with you how I'm doing for testing and runner. If you haven't started looking into this yet, or maybe you already have epics like this, this has been working for me, has worked for me in the past in release management. So I'm trying to replicate this behavior for testing and runner. So I'm creating like a usability epic and then sub epics for UX Dev, UI Polish, so that I can keep track of all this information in one place, but also help PMs in a way see how many items we have and how we can prioritize them this quarter. So I just thought it would be nice to share how I'm doing for the team, and if you find useful, if something like that.
Yeah, it's a good idea.
For you.
I just yeah. I just talked to Dove about creating dashboards to track UI polish and UX depth. So we'll also do that. But we could probably link those in the epics. That could be handy as well to visualize our progress.
I wonder if because we have a performance indicator for UX devs. I'm not sure if we're probably going to have one as well for UI polish, but maybe we already have an idea. I would say check on Periscope, because
Okay.
we might have something like that. But good idea as well. So this should be in the performance indicator handbook page. We're being asked to burn down 3, or at least help prioritize. So you're not responsible for closing the UX app issues, or if the PM doesn't close or doesn't prioritize, what we're being asked to do is to identify them and say, here, the 3 low-hanging fruits that you can work on this quarter. So only 3, not a lot of stress. Anything else? Someone shared a fun thing. Who shared this meeting link? Circle CI versus GitLab. Vitica, you're muted. I think you're done.
Great. All right. So I'm saying that I was like reading this a few minutes back, so this is fresh in my head. It's a good comparative study between Circle CI and GitLab. So it's not kind of like taking side of any of the tool. It's kind of just like explaining how, based on what kind of context and restrictions, which tool you should be going for. But it's good to know. Like the points they have listed are good to know.
That's great. Thanks for sharing. I'll definitely read that.
Thanks, Vitica. And I just noticed I removed the link to the Verify Team Day. There's already some slides prepared, so I added here to the agenda. Let me also share here so you know what I'm talking about. So if you could have a look. Oh, they already added content about the vision items, so it's good for us to not be surprised about what's coming next. Awesome.
I mean, the first line that I read on the deck was very informative for me. It says there are 2 types of artifacts: job artifacts and pipeline artifacts. I only knew job artifacts.
What slide, Vitica?
It's slide number 10.
I also didn't know that.
Yeah, I don't really have anything to share. I mean, I could talk about some of the major things that we're working on at Pipeline Authoring if you're interested, but Vitica is nodding, I guess. I could proceed. I just had a meeting about it with, so I just had a meeting with Growth, with Kevin, their product designer, and with Michael, their product manager, and we're starting to really collaborate much closely on leveraging the pipeline editor in GitLab's onboarding flows. So what we realized is that authoring a pipeline, aka working with your CI/CD YAML file, is a step to enable many of GitLab's features. For example, now we're working on kind of a joint effort to make it easier to onboard users onto code quality. So that involves you to use a code quality template and to run a pipeline. So we're trying to figure out how we can maybe leverage the pipeline editor to show some additional guidance in addition to the template itself. So we have some comments in the template that kind of help you, but really it's not very effective. So I will share my screen actually and show you what is the main idea that we have. So we'll be implementing a drawer inside the pipeline editor that as an MVC will just hold documentation, basically, just some steps to guide you through setting up your pipeline. And we're playing with different ideas. For example, we can have like a very simple pipeline template that has a typical structure, 3 stages, just jobs to illustrate how it all works. And then we visualize it right here, just statically with just an illustration. And then we started thinking that, okay, we have this static content, but we could also play around with showing custom content depending on what kind of template they're using. So for example, if they're going through an onboarding flow to set up code quality, then when they land inside the pipeline editor, they will already have the code quality template pre-filled, and we can work with the growth team and whoever is responsible for code quality. I don't remember. I think Hayana, is it you? I think they mentioned your name in the meeting. No, it's not you.
Can you repeat that?
Yeah,
I was
maybe
like,
it's
what?
Ian.
I think, Hayana, it should be you.
Wait,
I
what?
think for James, right? Because James is testing and code
James
quality,
is testing,
right?
so
Are you
that's me.
covering?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
code
testing.
quality. Yeah, so we will have to collaborate on this because, for example, we could include some additional information inside the drawer to guide you through the code quality template and explain to you how to set everything up. So the MVC of this drawer is currently scheduled for 14, I think. So in 13.10, we will not be working on it yet, but once we have the drawer, it just opens up so many new opportunities for us because the drawer can hold pretty much everything or anything, whatever we want. So yeah, just wanted to share it in case you also get some ideas because we can get quite creative here, I think.
Can you link the issue to the agenda, Nadia, so we can refer to it later on? Yeah.
Yep.
Thank you. It's going to be interesting. And do you already have the iteration plan for it? And after the MVC, what the next steps would look like in a way that we can try to align maybe the smaller pieces with the PMs to not overwhelm them with with this bigger picture.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so we're really taking a step back. Oh, what did I do? I just added a comment for some reason instead of linking the issue. But yeah, so right now we just have the MVC step laid out. Not really sure where it's going to go beyond that. We'll be doing some validation, solution validation, and learning more about where we need to take it. Because at this point, for MVC, like we're very confident in this MVC solution because it's existing documentation that we already have. It's not a new feature. So we haven't done any solution validation, but we'll be following up with that. And then we will plan out the further iterations. But generally, we have an idea that next we would introduce code snippets that you would be able to copy and paste. So we would add maybe tabs inside the drawer. So there would be like a getting started tab that just tells you what is CI/CD and what is a pipeline, just laying out some basic terms. Then there would be a tab where you can copy and paste some very basic code blocks, things like that.
That's awesome. That's very interesting because this can unlock so much potential and adoption, and you know, on that exactly what you say, the flow from CI to other features, right? And those are the things that we don't have the visualization right now, just with the static file and the text. So this is a very interesting problem. I'm looking forward to see the next steps and what the MVC and the validation are going to look like.
And Nadia, have y'all thought about any support for people who are moving from a different code to ours, different YAML to ours? Because when I did that research for adoption, that's what it was, months ago, people were like, yeah, this is so different from insert name of competitor here. I don't really know where to start. And they usually found themselves at Stack Overflow because that provided them some information on how to get started. I know we have some for competitors, but I know it's not completely built out at all. So that this might be something to think about as well, of like, who is this user who we're supporting? And odds are great that they're going to be coming from another platform in another YAML language.
Yeah, definitely. I agree with you 100%. And we are not going to work on it just yet, but we have this epic to handle all of the pipeline editors empty states. Specifically, I need to rename this, but this deals specifically with like the first experience empty states. So how, where do you come to pipeline editor from, and what do you want to do, and how do we address that need? So we have identified some different use cases here. And one of the use cases is that you have some kind of configuration, but it's not GitLab CI, and you want to translate it basically. And I think an MVC will look something like having an empty state with maybe a button here, like translate your CI configuration, and an MVC will be just to link to the documentation, just to link to the guide. And I think that will already be huge in terms of connecting this workflow. So it's not scheduled yet. Actually, I'll create an issue following this meeting, but that's the idea. It's just not prioritized yet, but now that the Jenkins importer is moving to pipeline authoring, I think we'll be focusing more on it.
That's awesome. Yeah, that will help people so much.
Yeah, and on that note, Nadia, I have added a comment to the document. I might have to jump off the call regarding the research issue that Laurie just referred to. That could be a big source of information for you when you'll start looking at Jenkins importer.
Awesome, thank you.
And I've taken this as a point for me that I would add the link to the transition issue as well. All right, I have to drop.
Bye.
Are we at time? My goodness.
Yep.
Daniel, feel free to voice your comment.
Actually, I have another meeting in 1 minute as well. That's also why I added it in the doc. But very quickly, Nadia, super interested in this solution that you came up with. And anything that embeds documentation in the product for me is always a plus. My question is essentially, have you thought how to do this mapping between specific pieces of the documentation that have to be shown depending on the configuration that you have on your CI or depending on the empty state that you have for the users?
Yeah, to be honest, we haven't really gotten that far. Right now, it's just static. Like what we show in the drawer is just going to be static documentation, but we will iteratively be figuring this out. So at this point, can't answer your question, but if you have any ideas, also hit me up anytime. And yeah, happy to discuss this in more detail, maybe in a coffee chat.
Yeah, for sure.
All right. Thank you, everyone, for your feedback.
Thanks, everyone.
Great call.
Thanks for joining.
Bye.
See you next time.
Bye.